Hey, it's been a week or two. Has it been two? I don't feel like it's been 2 whole weeks yet. Welcome to In the Passenger Seat, which is in the driver's seat at the park in my car. I have news. I'm moving. I'm going to be so much closer to most of my clinics in Oklahoma, Arkansas, which inadvertently puts me closer to Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi. I am moving east. I'm getting out of the armpit of Texas, West Texas. I grew up here. I've moved all around for little few months at a time, and I lived in New Mexico for 4 years. But basically it was just West Texas. Because it's Hobbs. It's just Western Texas. Yeah, I'm moving to East Texas. East. Almost to Louisiana East. I am so freaking excited. I can't even stand it. The happiest I've ever been is when I lived in South Haven, Mississippi. I freaking loved it there. I lived there for a year. Maybe not quite a year, but I felt like it was a long time. South Haven's super grown up now. It didn't used to be that way. To go do stuff, you would have to go to Memphis. But I loved it there. I loved the green. I loved the grass and water, and I always said it was hard to have a bad day when you live somewhere so pretty. You could be having a bad day or just be in a bad mood and walk outside and it's beautiful. And it's something about that's just really nostalgic to me. So, and I think my husband probably feels the same way. Yeah, we're just really excited for a change of scenery. And pace where we're moving is not very big right now. It's growing extremely fast. But the place we're looking at buying is 7 acres, surrounded by huge tall trees, and the driveway is a 1/4 mile long on a dirt road, and then there's just trees on either side, and it's 7 acres surrounded by trees, and 3 of it is cleared, but the rest of it's completely we'll probably clear more over time, but we're leaving a pretty thick tree line all the way around, and you just feel like you're in there. And we have had neighbors on all sides for the last 6 years. It's been really tough because we share privacy fences with these neighbors, and on one side, on the other side we don't. And our neighbors to the north are really quiet, but our neighbors to the south, they're a big family, and so they celebrate every holiday with a big crowd, and we feel like we have to be a part of it whether we want to or not. And it's they're not bad by any means. They're really good neighbors. It's just we don't want neighbors anymore if we can help it. We don't want to see anybody. And the funny thing is, it's only 4 miles from my kid's school, so it's not super secluded out of town. It's just private, and that matters to me and Corey. We're very private people, and so doing yard work or feeding or me riding and having people constantly watching. There's sometimes I'll go ride and I'll have 10 people watching me, and I'm it's weird, sometimes you just want to go, it's hot, sometimes you want to go ride in your shorty shorts and your sports bra, and I cannot do that. I'm a big chunky girl. I don't want anybody looking at all of this doing all of that, and so now I can do it and nobody will see me at all, and it'll make me happy, and I can be tan. The kids are looking forward to it because where we're looking at, and I hope that we can buy it. It's not on the market yet, but we're hoping that we can buy it and then we'll get our place sold in time to buy it. It's got a pond, so my kids are psyched because there's no water in West Texas. Like the Monahan's Drought runs through the ranch, and we've got it dammed up, but we've had no rain, so there's no water in it. And when there's years like this, so we're in an extreme drought, I don't let my kids buy ducks from Tractor Supply and stuff like that over Easter. Like, I don't let them buy ducks because we don't have anywhere to put the ducks, you know? So, they can buy ducks every year. There's a pond there every year. And even in their drought is nothing like our drought. Like, we have had less than half an inch of rain since last year at this time. Less than half an inch in over, I think it's almost over a year now. It's insane, the drought that we're in. We're going to get there and we're going to think it rains all the time. And they're going to think they're in a drought, you know, because it's just so different. So I'm just really excited. I have fit 7 to 9 horses on my place on 1 acre for 7 years now. It has not been easy. Luckily, my place is set up where my house is to the front of the property and the arena's in the back, so it looks like we have a ton more land than we really do, because we really did set it up perfectly for the horses. But just the fact that they're going to have pasture and like grass, and then I'm going to have enough room that I can like let one section of land rest to regrow while they eat on another section, that's insane to me, because I have not had that. So I'm just super excited about it. And Corey puts in his resignation today, so I have to wait to post this video until that happens. But then I can talk to everybody about how excited I am. Where I'm going, there's a barrel race nearly every night of the week. I'm 2 hours, well, I don't even know if I'm that far, an hour and a half maybe from Shreveport, so I can always jump over to Louisiana. I'm only 6 hours. I'll only be 6 hours from Cave City, Arkansas, which is insane because every time I go to clinics there, it's like a 13-hour drive. And with fuel prices being so crazy, I was afraid that my clinics were going to suffer because I don't want to raise my prices. And I know that I should, and I know that, and every year I have a little bit, you know, just to like help with expenses, but I don't want to raise them so high that people who are already struggling can't go. I feel like the horses are like a big stress relief they're therapeutic for us. So I am not going to make progression unaffordable. I don't think that's fair. I don't think when God set this out for me to do, that was what he had in mind, is for me to get more expensive and try to, you know, be a $500, $600 clinician. I think that my people probably can't afford $500 and $600, and he is making the way for me to be able to afford it and not charge those prices, so that there's a big niche of people that can still progress and learn, and you know, that we can be a community and they can still be a part of something, you know, and not go broke doing it. So I don't think that progression should be unaffordable. I just don't, and I'm not going to be the one that makes it that way. I think God has built this business to what he's built it to because I've followed his plan that way and not been greedy. And I know that he'll continue to provide. It doesn't even make sense when you look at my numbers and what I charge that I make as much money as I make. It does not make sense when you say, this is how much I charge. People are like, how in the world are you making money? I promise you, I am making money. I might spend it just as fast as I make it, but that's just me, YOLO. But I am making money. But it's God doing the numbers. It's not, because it doesn't make practical sense. It really doesn't. So there's that. But that is the news. I will be closer to everybody for the most part. I mean, like, my clinics in South Dakota, Utah, Wisconsin, you know, they're always going to be far away because it's too cold there. I'm not going there. I am not going to ever live near you guys. But for sure, Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all of you guys, like, I'm going to be so much closer. So I'm really, really excited about that. I am going to try to finish up my West Texas private clinics early so we don't have to worry about scheduling, but I still have to come back every 2 to 3 weeks because I get my feed here, and I'm not switching because I love it. So there's that. Every 3 weeks I'm coming back. I have clients here that I have been teaching lessons to and keeping horses tuned up for nearly 2 years now. I can't even imagine not seeing those people at least every 2 weeks. So I'm definitely coming back. I sold my PEMF machine. I just didn't feel like I was using it on my personal horses enough, and I'm not, using it on anyone else's enough to validate keeping it. I can't make myself stand there and do my own horses. I just can't, because once I'm done with one horse, I want to get on the next horse. I don't want to go do therapy, and it's really hard to find help right now that can consistently come out to my house and work on my horses for me. And I'm a little bit type A when it comes to stuff like that, because you can screw it up. So I think I just decided to sell the machine, pay someone else to do it, because that's what I was going to have to do anyways, because I don't have time to do it. And then maybe buy a beamer or a blanket or something like that, where with the beamers, and I don't know a ton about them yet, I'm still researching, but just to be able to throw a blanket and those boots on while I'm cleaning a stall, and then by the time I'm done cleaning that stall, that horse be done being therapied, and then throw it on the next horse while I'm cleaning their stall. I kind of feel like that is more my style. Or, get off one horse, throw it on, get on another horse. By the time that I'm done riding that horse is done, the next one can be done. It's just a convenience thing for me. And, I know that therapy is not the same, and maybe the frequency is not as strong or whatever. There's a million arguments, but the fact is, any therapy is better than no therapy, and I'm doing no therapy right now. So anything is better than nothing. So I think I'm going to buy a beamer, and I would like to buy an aqua tread. I think that comes down the road, but I am wanting to buy an aqua tread. Even if it's just for my personal horses, and then for friends to haul in by appointment, just to haul in and do that. I think I really want to do that. So we will see. But I am moving. I will be closer. I'm super excited about that, which means I can increase the number of private clinics that I sell every year in that area. Yeah, it's just going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. I'm super excited. Anyways, that's about it. I did get back on Sister. I exhibitioned her this weekend. I got back on Moves. Yeah, I don't know. He won't eat. I don't know if he's literally anorexic. I don't know what to do with him because he's not eating. And I have him on so many different things. He gets grass hay, alfalfa pellets, chaff hay, Renew Gold, calf manna, Proforce fuel. He has such a variety of food, and I don't care what he eats as long as he eats something, and he won't eat any of it. None of it. Doesn't want any of it. Just refuses to eat. We're going to Xray his colon and palpate, and I'm worried that he has one of those induralis, which are it's a stone, a mineral stone that forms and then it's in their colon, and eventually it'll colic one. It'll cause an impaction. So I just want to check him for that, make sure there's none of that going on. I swear I found one a couple months ago, but it may have been a petrified gourd, but it really was so hard that it looked like an induralis, and then I kind of went into panic mode, and it's been in the back of my mind. And now that he's not really eating, I don't really know what to do with him. I know that we've got kissing spine. We've injected everything. The injections caused an EPM flare. We treated for EPM. We 100% of the time treat for ulcers all the time with him, because of all these things make his stomach sick. He stresses, he gets ulcers. So it's just a constant treatment with him. So I don't think we're dealing with that. But there's something else, and just crap appetite. Maybe it's the heat. It really did start. He went straight up anorexic when it started getting over 100 degrees outside. And even sitting in a stall with a fan or a breeze, like, he's still miserable. So I'm a little bit worried about taking him to East Texas, because I'm like, it is going to be 60% humidity there, and he is going, if he hates the heat here, he might really hate it there. I really don't know, but maybe he'll enjoy the pasture. I really don't know what's going on with him. So back to the vet we go with him. I am going to run him this weekend. Maybe just like extra exercise will increase his appetite. I know that happens with me and with anybody who works out. The more we work out, the hungrier we get. So I'm just going to really put him, he has not been working or been back to work in 60 days. So maybe he just isn't hungry. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. But when you have a horse that's already not a foodie, and then you don't give him any reason to have an appetite, I feel like maybe that's why. We have him on Winstrol, which is an anabolic steroid, which means it should not flare his EPM. It's not a cortical steroid, it's an anabolic steroid. It is supposed to increase their appetite, which it has not done, and it is supposed to make them hold just a little bit more water, so they appear fuller than they really are, but it is a steroid, and so it is supposed to help maybe bulk him up just a little bit. I am not seeing the effects of that, but like I said, I gave the shot on Monday. It is Friday, and I've only ridden twice since then. So with steroids, anabolic steroids, basically, whether they're legal or not, but with people and animals, you need to work them. You need to, that builds muscle by tearing down muscle. So basically, he needs to go to work. I need to give him the shot, maybe give him that day off, and then we need to go to work. And I did not do that this week, so he gets another shot on Monday, and then we'll try that. But we're gonna go to the vet either way. This has been such a crazy, like, headache journey with moves. Oh my god. And then we still have kissing spine surgery in February. So we have all the things. I feel like he's just, like, constantly been at the doctor, and that's okay, because he's worth it. I know that he is more talented than Spencer, and Spencer is pretty talented, so if I can just get him feeling right, you know, like, I guess he feels like, a lot of people would have just been like, look, how he is who he is. Sell him to somebody who isn't going to stress him as far as being, like, athletic in any way at all, and let him just go, like, do trail rides or something. I have not taken that off the table. Believe me, I have not taken that off the table. I realize that might be where he ends up going. But he loves the barrels, and he is so freaking athletic. It is hard to just give up. And in a way, I look at my horses like they're my children. And if my children had something wrong with them, I would fix it. I wouldn't go, oh, well, you know, you suck at math, so I'm just going to pull you out of school and you're just going to have to be dumb for the rest of your life. Like, no, I would go get my kid a math tutor. You know, like, we would do whatever it took to, do you have a learning disability? Do we have you, you know, do you need to go bump you down a grade? Like, I would never just be like, well, my kid sucks at math, so I guess she's just never going to math again. You know, like, I would never do that. And so these horses are my kids, and I think of them that way. Like, I want to fix what's wrong. Now, if these things aren't fixable, if this is not a fixable thing, that's completely different. That is completely different, and I will let him go live out the rest of his life trail riding for somebody. But right now, I'm just not there yet. So keep your fingers crossed. We can figure some of this out, because I think having to give up on him would, like, break my heart a little bit. I love him so very much. So, say some prayers for moves. We're still working on it. And, you know, we will be closer to my vet. That's the nicest thing. We'll be closer to my lameness. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to drive that poor man crazy. But, anyways, that's what's going on. That's a little update. And after I make my runs and exhibitions this weekend, I'll let you know how it goes, and if he starts eating or how the vet appointment goes or whatever. Anyways, have a good week.